Okay, hopefully I've had to switch the mic. This mic, for some reason, it's not being recognized anymore. It's on, it's plugged in. For some reason, it's always the mic I use. It's not working. So I think it's the laptop mic that's being used. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Okay. So the quality is going to be a bit worse, but I'll get a new mic or whatever it needs to be. Okay. Take these off. I don't think it's these that I'll do. All right, cool. Sorry about that, guys. I have no idea. The mic just, I don't know. I mean, apparently it's on. Apparently it's working, but what can we do? All right, where are we? What's crack-a-lackin'? How's everyone doing? Cody, Daniel, Dave, the Resolute Trader, Rev, everyone. Amazing stuff. How is everyone doing today? Okay, let's look at this open. Let's look at some of these levels. Let's see what we're looking at today. I can get rid of all this. This is all old. We've really only got one kind of level here I'll be interested in, and we do have a level there, a very slight one, which we just tapped into. Okay, cool. Nice. So let's take a look at the volume. I'm more bearish. I'm definitely more bearish today. Nils, good to see you. Eugene, hello from the UAE. How are you? All right, we're going to look at the open candle, which is that candle right there. So we had buyers at the top, bunch of sellers more in the middle, and then buyers came in again at the bottom. So very kind of oddly distributed, nothing really, you know, too kind of obvious. And then we got, again, a bunch of buyers came in, huge amount of sellers. This is almost like the open. This looks like the real opening candle, right? This doesn't even look that bad in terms of volume. And the sellers just came in and completely annihilated everyone. But then I don't think they did much after that. Yeah, and then buyers all trickled in. And now it's, wow. Okay, sellers, yeah, this is mental. This is a very choppy open. I have no idea why it's so choppy. But clearly, chop is a thing today, and it has been for a while. Hello, Sammy. Hope you're doing great. Alexis, I am doing great. How are you, my friend? Mohammed, hello to you. How are you? Andy, great to see you. Good morning. In terms of, I mean, we just want to let the open play out, right? Who's got money in the game? Right now, everyone's kind of got money in the game. Do you know what I mean? It's definitely more on the sell side. 100%. The sellers have definitely got way more volume than the buyers. I mean, if we just look at the open, it was negative 3.4. Now we're already at negative 7,000. So there's a lot more sellers. They're not really pushing it down at this moment in time, but they're just far more aggressive. Again, wouldn't be surprised if there's insider trading. I wouldn't be surprised if news comes out soon that will decide not the outcome, but what's happening next with the Iran war. And just because of the amount of selling that's going on lately, and it's always been insider trading, I think something negative might come out and the market might go down. That's what I believe might happen, but we'll see. We don't know, right? We really don't know. Look at that. Sellers really taking over. Let's see what the chat's saying. Hi, I'm Charis. Good to see you. Just scalped. Very nice. Tom Rogers. Good morning, my friend. How are you? Long time. You know what we always say, we want the market to go sideways and be super choppy. That's exactly it, Tom. That's the market we love, right? A sideways, choppy, disgusting market. This 6682 looks like an iceberg. Yeah, there definitely was an iceberg there, but it looks like they've broken through just now. 1.7 up. Beautiful. Beautiful. Lovely stuff. Yeah, but you know, buyers, sellers, they're still bickering right now from the open. Definitely, you know, any buyer in that kind of area here would have had their stops there. They've probably been triggered out. Fresh buyers trying to come in. So it depends what these people are able to do right now, you know. But I'm definitely weighing more on the bearish side for now. Not saying there can't be pullbacks or anything like that, but it's just a sheer amount of volume coming in. And because of everything that's happening and what we have witnessed the last, you know, week or so, with the insider trading that's going on, following high volume, if someone really wants it in the market and you can just see, you know, there's one side that's just really, really wants it, they're usually right now because they almost know something that we don't know, you know. Hey, AJ, good to see you. Morning, sir. Back in the States again. Love your strategy. Thank you, AJ. How was, it was Morocco, right? You went to. How was Morocco? Sean Evans says, the market makers are messing with your computer. They don't like getting exposed. They have cut off my microphone. They're trying to silence me, Sean. They're trying to silence me. But as of yet, I mean, this is just, there's nothing here right now. You can't really make heads or tails of what's going to happen here because it's just pure aggression, you know. I wonder what the NQ is looking like real quick. So the NQ, wow, okay, the NQ really pushed down a lot more. It took out the low DNQ, right? Whereas the ES, I don't believe we took out the low on the ES. No. See, we're quite far away from it. So a bit of a difference between NQ and ES. Interesting. Oh, look, and even this pullback. Look at this pullback on the ES. Is a lot more deeper. You know, it's taken out the last two bearish candles, right? On the ES, that kind of makes sense a bit. That it's going to be more war related. That people who are shorting more. You know, are more likely because tech usually doesn't do too well. At times like war and things. So. But, you know, defense stocks, things like that, they're obviously going to do well. So the ES, because it's like a collective, any defense stock being bought or anything like that is going to have more of an effect than, than tech. So that kind of makes sense. Let's go back to, wow, look at that. The S&Ps just took out the high. Let's put a line there. I didn't see what happened at the top here, if there was what kind of spike in volume. I wanted to see if the sellers actually got out or if they, do you know what I mean? If any sellers got stopped out or if they're holding on. Because if they're holding on for dear life, that's usually a sign that, you know, they're not worried about it going up and going against them, right? They're kind of just like, yeah, it's fine. We saw that yesterday, saw that day before. Where, you know, we were going to areas where sellers should have been stopped out and they just didn't care. Like, it just wasn't, they didn't care. I think, though, we're seeing a bit of a spike. I think some sellers, but not like a massive spike considering the amount of sell volume that came in. So sellers are still holding, which again kind of leads me to believe they're not actually too worried about this, the people who shorted. They're building up a position. So we'll see. But as of yet, nothing for us yet. I mean, this is a really nice bullish move, I got to say. Wow. What a move, right? The next kind of area will be there where we'd expect at least some kind of stop losses. Let's see what happens. Again, no major spike in volume, right? Are we seeing this? There's no major spike above all the highs. We're not getting that major kind of, no one's really getting stopped out, you know? But look at this rip. Holy moly. Wow. What an absolute insane rip that is. I think that's going to catch a lot of people out. I think a lot of people are going to be like, oh, chase it. I am not ready to chase that market. I think this is still, there's a good chance we're going to see some bearish pressure come in. And do you know what I mean? Smack it right back down, because that was an insane rip right now. I'm going to check financial juice, see if there's anything that may have sparked that, but because I don't think, no. At 141 something came out. What time is 141? So there, I don't really think Tehran is now awaiting the other side's response to its position on the American proposal. Right. Okay, so it's a little bit news driven. This move up here has been slightly news driven, but I think it's a fool's chase right now. I think what you're probably going to see next is Iran reject the proposal, most likely, and boom, we're gonna slam down again. I think this is kind of almost a bit of, not manipulation, but a fake move. I'm not falling for it just yet. But we shall see. We shall see. Either way, there's not much for us to do right this second, because look, there's still sellers, even though we had this crazy amount. You know, we still got sellers willing to transact. We never saw a major spike in the buy volume. Those sellers really got out. That is my biggest concern. You'll see this, normally over highs, you'll see a big chunk of buy volume as we take out all the stops. We didn't really get that. So they're not worried by the looks of it. If they're not worried, that can only mean one thing, right? That can only, in my opinion, mean one thing. They're okay. They don't mind holding. But this is one hell of a rip up. What an absolute ripper. Look at that. It's still going. I'm just checking if there's any spike. I just want to see if there's a spike in buy volume. No major spike yet. I mean, we haven't really even hit over 1,000. 500 being the biggest one. Yeah, I'm still kind of bearish on this. Just let this kind of calm down, let it do its thing. Eventually it's going to stop, and then I think there's going to be a move down. That's my opinion here. That is my opinion. So we shall see. Let's have a look. Because I'm not going to switch bullish until I see really sellers give up. Do you know what I mean? Like, look, we've got big amount of sell. Like, granted, that's going to be a lot of buyers probably getting out trailing, right? So I think those are buyers getting out to a certain degree. Now we've got some fresh sell volume. I wouldn't mind actually potentially shorting here, because sellers are still happy to transact. Let's go in for a short quickly. Let's see if we can just, do you know what I mean? Just flood down here, because I can have my stop just above here, which is fine. It's only $80. Let's see if the sellers can just do a quick kind of reversal. It's a bit of a, what do you call it? Not really front running, but it's a bit more of a hunch rather than like something exactly that I'm seeing. The only thing I saw is buyers are exiting, right? We got some fresh sell volume willing to transact. If these sellers fail and we kind of get above them again, all right, fine. It's not ready yet. So I can be a bit more, because for the most part, I haven't seen sellers get out. But it could still rip up. This is the problem. It could still theoretically rip up if buyers are still willing to keep buying and think it's all fine and dandy. But hell, I would I think once this drops, this is going to, I'm not even going to bother putting a TP for most of it. I'm just going to get rid of the TP and just, let's see if I'm right. We should have a really good move down. There you go. Buyers trapped at the top. Let's see if we can squeeze more buyers out, because there's obviously still going to be a lot of buyers in the market. Buyers are still trying to buy at the highs here, so they're very confident buyers. But I'm not quite falling for it yet. I am not falling for it yet. I think there will be a reversal. Buyers are still coming in. They're still quite aggressive. We haven't really had much sell aggression right now. We had a bit of it, but we're kind of above those sellers, but they're just not exiting. None of these sellers are willing to really get out. All right, I'll probably get stopped out here. We might actually take out the high here, unless sellers are willing to come back in. Let's have a look. Let's give them a few seconds. They might. I'm not going to preemptively get out. I think my stop is a tiny bit tight because of the spread. So let's put it a little bit higher just to factor in the spread. There we go. Let's see. Sellers come back in. They're not really allowing them. Nah, they're going to get out. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. No problem. Not ready yet. This is still pushing up. So the thing is, I have to kind of, okay, we saw a spike there, finally, a bit of a spike, but again, not a huge one. Not a huge one. I think that's more people who just copied what I did there, who got in here have been stopped out, basically me, right? Oh, something's happening. Look at these sellers coming back in again. Something's going on. All right, I'm going back in. I think something's happening here. Buyers getting stopped out or dropping out. Let me put my stop again. We'll do another same trade. I may have just got wicked out a little bit early there. Let's see if sellers can take control now and push it down and add a lot of volume, because we saw a big kind of quick move there. Very quick, a lot of sell volume. Someone dumped a lot. Do you know what I mean? Someone dumped a lot. They're not really breaking through yet, but I'll give them another few seconds. And buyers came back in. Buyers are still willing to keep buying. All right, fine. Fair enough. Look at that, 600. I think that's sellers also getting out, but not a huge spike. The weird thing is I can't seem to track where the original sellers who got into the market at open, all this volume, I didn't see any of them really get out. It was all just kind of very, maybe, marginally a few here, maybe a few here. There was never an instant spike, which leads me to believe they're still in the frickin' market. And look at that, they're still willing to keep selling at the top. All right, I'll wait for a bit more, I think. I think I'm going to wait a little bit for a bit more confirmation and then jump in again. But I'm still bearish on this. I am still bearish on this. I haven't seen anything. I can get rid of that. Let's put the new gap is up there. Maybe a bit higher up. Maybe near these highs we might see something of interest. But at this moment in time, I don't really see it, I'll look at the chat. Yes, it was nice, beautiful weather and great people. Amazing, good to hear. Seems like every day this week we've had crap price action conditions. Then some news is released and PA returns to normal. Exactly, Cody. Exactly. Something is See, I don't want to short it again only for buyers to come back in. We need to see buyers start failing, and then I'm ready to get in. When I see buyers fail, I'm ready to jump in. So, I mean, there's some buyers, but there's just not a lot, you know. And actually, those are fresh buyers because we never took out that high. So I can imagine, you know, getting below them there is going to cause them to drop out. I might go in short again, but now my stop has to be a bit bigger. Fuck it, why not? Why not? I'm going to manually get out if I see, you know, sellers fail, then I'll manually get out. But I'm anticipating this move happening soon. If I see sellers fail, I'll just get out at like $20 or something. It's not a big deal. And then, all right, buyers coming back in. I want to see buyers fail. If they don't fail, I get out. If they do fail, I'll stay in. So this is critical here, these guys. I don't want to see them really have much movement. If they start moving it up a bit, I'm getting out. You see they're moving it up. So I will give it a second. Is any sellers going to come in? They're still coming in. Can we get below those buyers? Get below them. Okay, they might get below. We might squeeze them out because that's all the fresh buy volume. This will be the first time fresh buys have failed in this move, and then that can indicate the move down. So really, you know, we don't want to get much higher. All right, we're getting below them. This might be, want to get them out. This could be it. I may even look at adding if we see them. Oh, that's nice. I'm going to add another position because now realistically my stop is above the current candle. I'll manually get out, like by exiting if we get there, but I'm not going to set a stop loss just in case it's like a little wick, you know, and that would be a little annoying. Okay, buyers still coming in. If we can stay below them, good. Trap them. I think we might start. The move is slowly starting now. We just had a bit of chop on the way up, but buyers are still happy to come in. They haven't given up. Naturally, they're not, realistically speaking, stops are all going to be down here, right? For most buyers, probably. So we've got to get lower down still. We're not out in the clear yet. We need to really get lower down, and then we've got this move coming. So good. There's going to be stops over here. There's also going to be stops really like down here. So definitely some buys are exiting 614 as we got down to those lows, 700. Yep, there's definitely some stops being triggered. Good. Can we see a big spike somewhere? Not yet. I want to see spiking. I want to see buyers get dropped out. Fresh buyers trying to come back in, defend. Let's just one swift move, get the hell out, get them out the market. Oh, come on. What's going on here? Who are these buyers? Maybe there's some good news coming out. Oh, that was a lot of, look at that, 3,000. What? All right. Well, the reason I'm not getting out is because I'm still going to have my exit point up here. I'm going to still hold it because if these buyers fail, that's a hell of a lot of volume. Something is obviously, you know, it's not looking good, unfortunately. Yeah. Okay. Well, what are you going to do, right? Let's just see if sellers are willing to, you know, we'll keep it at the high. If not, unfortunately, what the fuck can we do about that, man? That was next level. Volume came in. Someone has bought a shit ton. Yeah, I think we're out. I'm going to give it another few seconds. Can the sellers take over? Because if we squeeze out these buyers, great. Because they haven't really pushed it up after they've closed the candle. So if these sellers can make a bit of movement, we should be okay. Come on, sellers. But I literally got my finger on the exit. And I'm just watching That's unfortunate. I mean, what the hell was that, right? Maybe there is potentially good news coming out. I was very pessimistic and thinking, it's going to be bad news, but maybe something good might come out, and there is insider trading expecting a push up, because that was a lot of volume, 4,900 on the delta randomly. Yeah, but we shall see. We shall see. I'm really holding it. I should actually set a stop loss in case it is news and wicks me out and I can't react in time. So I have to set a stop. Let me do that real quick. What I am thinking though, that is insane, that candle. That volume is mental. Unlikely now, I think, quite unlikely, but because either way, if I get stopped out or exit here, it doesn't really make a difference. The reward of if sellers are able to get below that candle is far greater than whatever I'm risking on this little extra bit, So I'd rather now hold it, because I am seeing sellers still willing to short against that. But ultimately, that is unusual volume from one candle. 4,900. What's Financial Juice saying? Is there anything that came out? Nothing. So it wasn't a reaction to any news on Financial Juice, as far as I see. Let me just get Financial Juice up for you guys. There's nothing that's come out. So questionable why that happened. Maybe someone knows something to the upside. Maybe. Who would know, right? Or I don't know. I'm not making any presumptions now. I'm going to keep my stop where it is, and let's see if the sellers can do this. Okay, I need to look at the chat a little bit. And we got what news do we have today? So yeah, Trump is speaking now at 2. When was that? That was a minute before Trump spoke. Someone bought a shit ton, 4,900. So a minute before Trump is speaking, someone has bought 4,009. Well, who knows how much they actually bought? Because that's just the delta. We can actually look. I think I might have to switch here, because that is very suspicious, don't you think? I think that's a little bit suspicious. A minute before Trump is about to speak, we get 4,900 on the delta, buy volume being 7,500. Maybe there's about to be some really good news announced, and we're about to rip up. Because I find that a little bit suspicious, unless it was sellers exiting before Trump speaking. I don't know. I don't know now. I don't know. I'm still holding my short, because I got my stop. It's fine. Because it was. Look, we might squeeze them out. I don't know. I'm trying to think logically right now what could happen. Do you know what I mean? Trump speaks in an hour. Where is Trump talk? Trump speaks. What time is it? 2:30. 2 o'clock. This is UK time, so it's 2 o'clock by me right now. I'm holding it just because, again, because I've got two conflicting things now. We never saw any real sellers get stopped out. So sellers are holding in this market. Why? There are people not scalping, there are people holding their positions in this market. And we took out many highs, right? But then you also got this random massive buy spike. Like who's that confident? They must know something. Why would you be that confident? And it's right before Trump is about to speak. But then why aren't sellers getting out either? We'll see. We will see. I don't know. We will see. I'm not making presumptions now. We'll see and react to it. That's the best way. Let's have a look at the chat really quick. ZT Content, good to see you. Coach Z, my friend, how are you? For Luco, good morning. Nils, I've seen Nils. How are you? If Baron is holding his short again. Sammy, first time attending the stream. Good to see you. Good to see you, George. Didn't see you there. Sorry. Great to see you. Okay, something's happening. Maybe. No. We did see a little bit of a spike, but nothing major. Again, we haven't taken out that high. I don't know. We'll see. Sellers stepped in on PGL. They need to go below 0204, in my opinion, though. That 6582 iceberg delivered. Luckily, I kept. Nice. Matt, how are you, Matt? Good to see you. Sammy, be careful. Trump is talking at 10 a.m. Yes, he is talking. This is what I don't get. I'm seeing two conflicting things. On one hand, sellers aren't willing to exit. On the other hand, that looks like clear insider trading to me. Just a random massive chunk of buying for no real reason. Like it sticks out like a sore thumb, right? There was no major reason for it, but it happened to be a minute before Trump starts speaking. Suspicious. Especially lately, because we've seen that happen so often lately. Just before something is about to be announced, some person buys or sells like a massive amount. So who knows? Wild day. It's BlackRock and the insider traders. It is. That was a rejection from ES versus VWAP and NQ. ES are correlated. Slipped through 2.04, but quickly back above. Similar to the video you made, this could be another insider trading. It could be. This is the weird thing. It could be, but the only reason I'm still kind of short on it is because the sellers we haven't really seen any real sellers exit the market. So they're holding. Sellers are holding. This is what I normally, get out very quickly. If it goes against you, you're out. And you see that constantly all the time. But we've taken out so many highs. There was no real major spike. It was just, this whole move up was just very consistent in terms of the volume. There was no major kind of like obvious, there they are. They're all stopped out. Nothing like that happened. So unless they got their stops miles away, potentially, right? It just doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. I mean, both parties could be, working on the information and are very adamant they're correct. That could be the possibility, but we saw that on, it was Tuesday. We saw that happen. Similar to, Trump speaks. Trump talking at 10. Is that 10 a.m. EST? I might have the time wrong. Anytime now, Trump speaks. Ciao, Sammy. Ciao, Mastro. How are you? Well, Trump should be speaking now. He should have started 10 minutes ago. Apparently he's late, someone said. I think it was Matt said it. Bro, stay bearish. That bullish candle was manipulated. Market will dump. So I still think bearish. I'm still with you on that. I still think bearish. I don't think this was... I don't know what to think of that candle. Someone clearly is adamant it's going up. That's all I can say. But there hasn't really been, after that, we had a bit more buying, but generally sellers are still, even after that, sellers are still coming in heavier. Overall, there seems to be more kind of, sellers are still like, yeah, no, this is it. I still think there's going to be a meltdown. I think there's going to be something will come out. Iran will reject the ceasefire. There's going to be potentially, boots on the ground, and we're going to melt. This is what I think is gearing up, because we've seen in the last few days, every so often, someone is big sell, big sell, big sell, and it's been coming like clockwork. So they're building up big positions as well. They're doing it more subtly now than they did before, but they're building up big positions and keep boom, boom, boom. And they're holding on to their positions. No one's dropping out. They're like holding on for dear life. Even when it goes against them, they're still holding on to it. So they're adamant. Overall, I think sellers are more adamant it's going down, The retracement was in the gold Fibonacci zone in the 1 hour time frame. Fibonacci golden zone. Gotcha. All right, well, we'll see what happens. Let's see what Trump says. I mean, I'll keep my financial juice or something. No, nothing major. I'm not going to bother playing it just in case it's like copyright or something. You never know. But financial juice will kind of update us in real time of anything important. So, I mean, that buyer is defending, but this is interesting, right? This kind of shows you that buyer, this buyer here, because they're defending their position quite adamantly, right? You can see it on this candle here. They're kind of scared for the price to go against them. They're not as careless as the sellers. The sellers just do not give a fuck right now. They don't care if they're in drawdown, almost as if they know price is going to go down, right? So they're just holding. It's fine. Oh, it's all right. We'll just keep adding more. It's okay. We'll add more volume if it goes against. They're like, we know what's going to happen type thing in the way they're responding. The buyer, you can see there's a bit more fear in there, defending it. It feels like they're a bit more worried, that buyer. I might be wrong, but that's kind of how it looks like to me. But we shall see. If I get stopped out, it's absolutely fine. We'll make our decision once it, because right now it's just consolidating, right? There's nothing really there. This is interesting. Let me see on the clusters if there was like an obvious on each individual level. Okay, so this is where it gapped. This is where the order would have most likely been placed around here. And it gapped through all the levels. That's why it's all 46, 46, 46, because it just cleared every level instantly. And then order volume kind of caught up. That's why it's... So that was all gapped, essentially. And then it kind of, officially on the footprint was, started coming in. And then, yeah, they didn't really buy at the top. Okay. So it was one giant aggressive order that did it. It was one giant aggressive order, essentially. Interesting. Interesting. Unless it was buyers trying to defend. But it's a very, very aggressive strategy, right? Very aggressive, unless it's, buyers who came in earlier. All right, just got stopped down, no big deal. Unless it's a lot of these buyers trying to defend with a really aggressive. I actually want to see what happened just at that high. Where is it? I didn't see what happened, but it's fine. Come on, show me something. We know again, look, they came in again, 1500. They're adamant. I feel like something is going to happen though. I want to see some of these buyers exit the market and start failing. Again, sellers are just as mental right now. They're just constantly coming in. We shall see. Brian, do you think it's possible sellers exited on the rip higher, but no passive sellers with size stood their ground on one area to show volume? Not questioning analysis, just a thought. Give me 2 seconds, Brian. I just want to. No, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to jump in again. I'm going to wait. Do you think it's possible sellers exited on the rip higher, but no passive sellers with size stood their ground in one area to show volume? I mean, look, it could be. Like, obviously, 100% some sellers dropped out. Like, a lot of this volume is going to be some sellers obviously exiting. But we never saw like a real clear, massive jump. Because if it was passively, it would have shown up as, as a buy order, like a stop, essentially. I just never saw it. Like, we saw it, buyers exiting. The moment it kind of went back quickly after that little rip up and then back, you can see buyers just sort of manually exiting. All right, trailing. Again, same thing, kind of boom, trailing. Every time you take out a low or a high, you see that big spike in volume. We're just not seeing it. We're not seeing it right now. Now, there's no other way of exiting the market. You either click exit or your stop gets hit. You can't, there's no other way of getting out the market, right? It's the only thing that again, these buyers are potentially trapped. I might go back in. I'm still short on this. I am still short. I feel like something is building up here. It's not making sense. This is not making sense. I'll go in 2 contracts just to kind of, capitalize on the move. Because the more I'm looking at this, the more I'm adamant the sellers are not giving up. We're just not seeing them give up. I want them to take out this buyer here. I want them to take out that low as well, and see what happens. Because if that buyer exits, then it was just a really, it was a speculative bet. It wasn't insider trading. But if like the volume doesn't spike when we get below that buyer, now where their stop is going to be, most likely below the candle, somewhere in that area. If we don't see a clear spike in volume, then you know that buyer's actually insider trading, right? Because they're holding it. They don't give a shit. They know for whatever reason they're super confident it's going to go up. They don't need a stop, essentially, right? They're not worried. Similar to what we're seeing with the sellers. They're not worried. But if it doesn't, if it does spike up, then you know that person's actually out the market and we got something. But we might just be very choppy here until something happens. I only got in because of, I saw that little shift in volume distribution happening. We want to get below, these buyers. We don't really want to get above here now. We kind of want these buyers to fail and sellers to trade below them and keep squeezing them out. Stops are going to be there and etc. We want to see that kind of, domino effect start kicking in. If it doesn't, then we're just rotating back up again, and then, all right, fine. You might as well just get out and wait. Look at that, more buyers still coming in. Come on, let's get below them. Let's get below these guys. Let's get below this low here. We need to take this low out. This little low here. I want to see buyers fail. Fail. They just keep adding, don't they? They just keep adding. I might get out because they might just rotate back up again for a bit. I mean, it's really these people here have to hold the line. If they don't hold the line, then yeah. All right, fair enough. Not ready yet by the looks of it. Are they going to hold it? 180, 270? Nah, they're just not holding it. Buyers are still coming in. All right, let's get out of this position. I don't think it's ready yet. Let's wait. Now they fucking come in, the sellers. Absolute piss takers. But we're just in a range right now. We're rotating up and down. It's getting very annoying. Get rid of this black line. That's no longer needed. Again, we're getting below the buy volume. I don't know. I don't know what to do. There's so much of me that wants to short, but I don't want to keep shorting and in a range. But I'm worried that if I'm not in the market, if the move happens, do I miss it? Because it will happen so quick, and then I think that will piss me off even more. All right, I'm going to get back in, and I'm going to hold it a little bit. I'm seeing these buyers failing. Sellers are still coming in. I'm going to have a bit more of a bigger stop. I'm going to allow a little bit of room to breathe because I want to be in the market if it happens. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be out the market. I don't want to be out the market. So we're gonna wait. Anything on financial juice? Nothing. Nothing as of yet. Is Trump actually talking? Let me see. Is he actually talking right now, or is it just still? Oh, that didn't do it. Oh no. No, I haven't actually. Still waiting. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, the fact that we're still waiting, I'm not expecting much to happen then, is there? So this is just going to be rotational until he starts talking. Okay. Eric, good to see you, Coach. Great day. I hit my daily goals, but not a huge day. Up about 2100. Hey, 2100 is amazing, man. Like 14, 69 of us, please, and begging help, Coach. Thank you, Eric. Thank you. I appreciate that. I think there is a massive dump incoming. I think so too, Tatin. I think so too. Are you trading with minis or sometimes also in micros? At this moment in time, this is a CFD on Ola Prime Market, so it's not minis or micros, it's lot size, right? Semi-short, massive dump incoming. If you miss it, you miss it. What would you do if you weren't streaming? If I wasn't streaming, I'd be doing the exact same thing right now. Truth be told, I'm doing the exact same thing. If I wasn't streaming, I'd be scared about missing this move. Oh, you mean like if I wasn't trading? Kind of. Well, then yeah. I mean, what can you do? I wouldn't really care then. No one is safe from FOMO. 100%, Daniel. FOMO is a real thing. FOMO is a real thing. Because I would hate it if, like, say I got out of this trade, and then a few minutes later it dumps. I'd be like, nah. That would really grind my gears. That would piss me off. That's probably the biggest thing that pisses me off. You know, when you miss the move. But, you know, when the market's sideways like this, it's very hard to kind of gauge when the move is going to start, especially if it's going to be news related potentially, because then it's just, I mean, how are you going to know, right? You don't know when it's going to get announced. It just happens and then boom. You just have to hope you're in the market on the right side when that occurs. That's the only kind of redemption you have. But hopefully we just start getting that move going, you know? I don't think we will have a ceasefire. I don't think so either, Manu. I don't believe a ceasefire is on the table. And the market, I don't think, believes it either. Because for the last few days, it's just been short, massive insider trading, all short. I don't believe there's a ceasefire coming. I think it's absolutely going to go to shit and potentially escalation, and everything is just going to flood down. It feels like it's been gearing up for that. This is the thing. If you follow the volume from the last few days and what people have been doing, it's I don't know. Just that one candle has put a little bit of doubt in my head, which has annoyed me, because I am questioning what made someone do that. That's why I want to test them. That's why I want them to be tested, truly tested. I want to get below them. If we get below them, then we know, are they actually serious about, you know, do they believe that there's something more? Because we should see them all drop out like crazy. If they're not insider trading, they will let go of their position. They're not going to hold on to it. But if they are insider trading that buyer, they're going to believe they're correct, right? Like, and they'll hold on. They don't care if they're in drawdown. Why would you care? You're just going to keep holding on. All right, let's see if we can get below that buyer there. That is what we need to do. Get below. Do you pay for your financial juice? No, completely free. In how many minutes does Orange start speaking? Well, he should have started speaking ages ago. Like 30 minutes ago, he should have started speaking. I don't know if he's actually started yet. No, he still hasn't. It's still just awaiting start of Trump cabinet meeting. So, bit of a delay. So, who knows? In CFD, what percent you trade for each execution? I don't calculate the percentage side, like, because you see when I like enter, I'm just jumping in. I don't have time to like figure out the percent. So I just do like one lot, and then like if I like it a bit more, I add another lot. But yeah, I don't. He is speaking now. I'm watching it. Oh shit. Oh, he is. Damn, what's going on? Financial juice. What are you doing? What is this? There it is. My feed still says he's not. Apparently here, it's still awaiting. I don't know if Braveheart. Where are you watching it? Because here on Financial Juice, it's still awaiting. Sound up. So just to recap, that suspected insider trading you just saw, do you think price is going to crash or will go in the ride with that suspected buyer? Rev, I don't know. This is my point. Like I don't know if that's an insider trader. It looks like someone is insider trading because it was very random. It was a huge amount of volume all at one go. But it could also just be one buyer being absolutely adamant and being speculative and not an insider trader that it's going to go up. But the only way we'll truly know is if we test them. We need to test them. We need to put them in a position that either makes them exit their trade, so i.e. drawdown, or well, that's literally the only test we can give them, right? We need to put them in drawdown to see how they react. If they exit their position, then you know they're not insider traders. Then I'll 100% be 1,000,000% short on this market. But if they are insider traders and they hold on to their position, now we've got an issue of we've seen insider trading on both sides. So who's right? And we might have the same shit that happened on Tuesday or whenever it was, where you literally saw it on both sides, and then only afterwards did we realize, okay, there was actually two opposing news events came in that were good and bad, and that's why you had that happen. But I don't know, man. Like, I really don't know. Or even to add to it, defend that position. It could. This is it. It could just be. Look, I mean, 4,000 signed contracts is a lot, right? But it's not unheard of at the same time, especially after New York Open. Right? It's not unheard of. The volume can, it can spike that high. That is not completely unusual. It's a little bit suspicious that it was a minute before Trump officially started speaking or was to speak. Makes it a little bit more suspicious, but it's not unheard of volume. Like the other day on Monday or Friday, whenever it was, and it was Monday, where it was pre-market and we had that kind of volume out of nowhere, that's like clear as day insider trading. Because that volume is way out of line for the pre-market. So it could just be someone just making a big bet, but they need to be tested. They are defending. That was, I would say, this is probably one of the only signs that maybe they're not insider traders, because they seem to add the moment it got a little bit too hot for them, right? They added here. The moment it kind of, got a bit too, they tried to get the market back up again, showing a little bit of panic, right? And they keep kind of panicking a bit and panic buying, trying to get it up to not let the market drift down. So in that respect, that looks a little bit like they're not completely certain about their original move, especially since it's around the area where they did enter, where it gapped. Like, this is where it gapped, right? Because it's 184, 184. If I go into the separate, if I go into like each individual cluster, you'll see where started gapping, right? So the gap kind of started there. So they literally cleared all this in one go. So they placed their order somewhere here. They would have placed it, right? And then it just gapped up. So their average price would be, I mean, it's hard to know, but maybe like somewhere in the middle around here somewhere could be their average price of where they're filled, which kind of then lines up to, you know, as they got a little bit in drawdown, they started panicking. And again, you saw them look, place a big order. That's why it's all 34, 34, 34, because they just cleared all this area in one swoop move. Cleared the whole book basically in one little move. And TradingView basically just prints it all on the same level. Then it just takes the overall volume, divides it with how many levels that got cleared, and then so it's all the same number. It's not that they bought 34 here, 34 here, 34 here. It's because it gapped up. So they did it again. So that shows panic. That does show panic. Because I'm not entirely convinced that they're insider traders at the moment. And it was just a ballsy move from someone with too much money. As of 10:34, I don't see that he is speaking. I'm sure Fox News would be carrying it. Yeah, I don't. I can hit play again. Go back. No, he's still not speaking. It's still awaiting. And the reality is, I don't think much is going to happen until he does speak. So we're going to be in this kind of range. I'm not really worried what's printing in the volume right this second. But I would love to see sellers test that buyer properly, get them to the point where they're really starting to panic and see what happens. If they start defending, then again and again, I know I'm going to be more confident. He is talking now, someone said. I'm going to listen to it on one ear. I need to forward it actually to live. There we go. It's just talking about criminals, whatever. Come on, talk about what everyone wants to actually hear. This should be interesting now. We're about to find out, does this person know something, this buyer, or was he just, as someone said, more sense than money? Or more money than sense, sorry. Oh, here we go. Talking about it. He's just dick riding himself right now. Shit. Come on. He loves to waffle on, doesn't he? Just talk about that buyer's defending again. All right, okay. Wiped out the Navy. Okay. Come on. Just big buy volume. Sellers coming back in. He's not saying anything that should be pushing the market up really right now. He's just saying how great the operation is, but nothing new. Do you know what I mean? He's just saying we're wiping everyone out. I think I'm a bit delayed. Something's happening, and I'm not hearing what the hell they're reacting to. They're great negotiators, so that's a positive. So that's probably what caused it to go up. He's saying they're going to work out a deal, but we're going down, so there's got to. I'm clearly delayed here. Now he's talking about Biden. We didn't squeeze that buyer out, by the way. They defended. Now he's talking about Obama. I don't know. Huge selling coming in. If anyone's listening to it live, you'll know what I'm just trying to give updates. He's not really talking about anything meaningful right now. And he's just talking about how Iran attacked all the Gulf countries. Now he's saying Iran wants to take over the Middle East or something. Saying their navy's gone. Nothing major yet. Oh, we're about to squeeze. Let's see if that buyer gets out. They're defending. Imagine their stops are probably going to be all in this area. They didn't make a deal. Oh, what was that? Shit, I'm not up to date. I don't know if I'm willing to work a deal with Iran. Yeah. Iran is begging me to make a deal, not me. He's going to announce something big. It's going to be bigger than what he's just said there. He's going to announce something even bigger, I think, and potentially a ground invasion, and this is going to tank. He's getting to it. He's trying to almost soften. You know, we have to do it. They're sick. They're this. They're that. Now he's talking about how Iran will use nukes and all this. So he's almost. It sounds like he's about to justify bringing troops into Iran. Let's see. He keeps waffling on. He keeps waffling on about random shit constantly. Just get to the point, man. I'm in a trade here. he's talking about the UK. He's disappointed with NATO. Okay, just man, he's proper waffling now. Okay, so I am quite up to date because I heard that just a second ago. So that little, they're great negotiators, I believe, is the reason it spiked up here. And then he quickly switched to, I don't know if I'm willing to make a deal. And we're starting to sell off, but it's not really that big of a deal because I think most people kind of realize that the deal's not going to happen. Here we go. Here we go. I think that we're way ahead of schedule of the military. Still waffling. All right, we're starting to get a lot of buying. He's saying Iran has been decisively defeated. But I don't think people truly believe it. They can come back. He's still waffling. Apparently, Iran is begging to make a deal. But the market's not reacting to that as news. So the majority of people are not believing what he's saying, essentially. This is why we've just gone. There's a bit of buying since he said it, but no one really believes it in the market because we should expect to see the market go up a bit more than that. He's talking about drugs again now. If Iran makes the deal, the Strait will open up. Like, this is all technically positive stuff, but we're not really getting the reaction. I wouldn't be surprised if that buyer there did kind of know that, and that's why they bought, expecting the market to shoot up from that. But it didn't really react. Now he's talking about drugs and drug dealers, and I feel there's more. I feel like this. I feel like there's going to be a bigger bombshell here. This couldn't be it. I'm not even bothering looking at the volume right now. Here we go. Oh shit! It stopped. What happened? Where else the video gone? Okay, I can't hear him anymore. It dropped on my end. I'm gonna refresh, maybe. I don't know what happened. The video just disappeared. Or financial juice. All right. Well, so far, I mean, no major. What the hell is going on here? What is happening? Come on. Come on. Here we go. We're back. Ugh. I think boots on the ground. Personally, I think boots on the ground is going to happen because he's bigging everything up. Oh, it's so easy. They're already destroyed. It's over. Well, if they're already destroyed, why not just end it now? You've. Do you know what I mean? You've achieved your military objective. Why is the war carrying on? But he's almost like, yeah, everything is gone. The military, their aircraft, everything, they're destroyed. They're over. They're begging for deals. Almost sounds like, and we're going to, send in troops to, but they'll be fine. It's just, for X, Y, Z. Like it almost feels like he's leading on to that. He just said, remember months from now, my statement. So in his mind, this isn't a short-term thing. He's thinking months in his mind. So he knows that Iran's carrying on for months. It's not a week thing. And look at the market slowly starting to react to that. Now he's talking about the stock market. So you're also looking for trying to hear out any kind of little slip-ups, And the market's most likely reacting to the fact that he used the word month, not weeks or days. Ooh. What's that? It keeps cutting out my video. Why is it doing that? I'm going to put it on a separate tab. Maybe it's because I'm scrolling up and then it cuts out. So I'm going to put it on a separate tab. There we go. He's talking about taxes now and whatnot. And man, brave of him to leave the comments on. Oh, what a time we're living in. What mental. Okay, it's Associated Press. Yeah. All right, now he's talking about taxes and whatnot. I don't know. But either way, I think that's pretty much the long done. I think we're just going to continue kind of going down for a bit. I'm going to keep holding it until at least out to these lows, I can imagine. But while he's still talking, I'm going to hold it because I still have a feeling something big is about to be announced. You know what I mean? It's going to end soon. Yeah. Oh, he just said we have to go to Iran and put out a fire. Oh, oh. No, no, he's talking about farmers. It sounded like he was just about to say, okay, it almost sounded like he was about to say, tomorrow we're going to announce some military. And he said about supporting farmers. That's what dropped us down. Everyone's just expecting him telling. everyone is expecting basically that he's going to say boots on the ground, and that's what that little sell-off was there. And it stopped the moment he mentioned farmers. People were like, whoa, what? Like, yeah, tomorrow announcing actions to help farmers. I was like, I thought that was it. For a second there, I thought that was it. I was like, this is about to melt like a motherfucker. And he starts talking about farming. He's talking about energy prices. Jesus, come on. Question is whether I get out of this short now. I think this. It sounds like he's wrapping up. Anything? Trying to see if he says anything. Come on. Come on. I don't think he's announcing anything. I think that's pretty much it, in my opinion. The volume is starting to go a bit bullish. That little sell off was definitely because it sounded like he was about to say boots on the ground. And me and everyone else was like, oh my God. Okay, but he's got questions now. But if he hasn't mentioned it in his actual address, I don't think. All right, they're still talking about Iran, so I'm going to hold. Because we've got questions now. I know it's the same story around nuclear weapons, blah 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 blah. We get it. Nothing new. But they're talking about options. It almost sounds like hints a little bit. Still waiting. I really thought there would be something big, a big bombshell. But I think that might be it. Oh, folks, overseas fighting. Saying something. I think he's just talking about other countries, not talking about actual US military intervention. Now they're all just dick riding everything he's saying. It's nothing new. Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. I think back to normal technical analysis, there's a lot of buyers now coming in. It looks like it might be, unfortunately, all it gives us, which is a shame. So, all right, back to normal kind of order flow, checking the charts and kind of like breaking it down now. That was, yeah, exactly, Cody. That was a whole lot of nothing, basically. There was a few little, I thought for a split second there, he was about to announce it. Markets hold. sold off already. But then he spoke about freaking farmers. I thought I was about to be rich there. I was like, it's about to tank. He's still talking about Iran destroying missiles. I'm just waiting a few more seconds just in case, but it's not going to be. If Trump didn't say it, it's not going to. It's not going to come out, right? At least not now. I think that's pretty much a wrap up. But if these buyers fail, so back to normal price action and order flow, we see these buyers fail, we get below them, potentially start squeezing them out. We can continue this move, but realistically, I don't really want to get much higher than where we currently are then, and then I'll get out. So let's see what the chat is saying. He's a salesman, that's why. That's a notion. Nice call on the short. Thank you, Brian. We should trail it, right? No need to quite. Yeah, I would say now, if you're still in the short, it's not a big deal if you get out now. I think the news has come out. Like, it's not really doing anything anymore. So, yeah, I'm probably going to exit here as well. Just see if these buyers can get higher, if the sellers are still coming in 420, 450, 440. There's still sellers, big buyers coming back in. So I'm going back to normal order flow kind of trading. I'm not any more fundamentals now. Now it's more about seeing if sellers and buyers are willing to, who's stronger. Because I might hold it because we might still keep going down. Do you know what I mean? But it's not going to be. Oh, wait a second. The same thing. Nah. Nah. Nothing. Yeah, sellers are kind of struggling to push it down a little bit. But like I said, anything really higher than that high there, I'll be out. It's just random stuff. Nils closed at 6584, 700 euros up. Excellent. Great stuff, Nils. It could have been, if he mentioned boots on the ground, can you imagine the drop? Oh, we could have, we could have undone the whole, big bullish move. We would have, boots on the ground, we would have easily got back down to this low. No issue. It would have been boom. What a move, man. What a move that would have been. But I still think it's going to be announced at some point. I mean, he's talking later again. You never know, but it might just be a tweet, random point. I mean, is he on his phone? You see him tweeting right now. You're like, sell. This has been a bit of a different stream, hasn't it? A bit different than normal. There's been a lot, trading fundamentals. Oh, big jump there. What happened there? It's always the same thing. Nuclear. Oh, okay. I am looking at getting out. Someone is buying. Ah. Wait a second. What what is it reacting to? Oh, a peace deal. Okay, the Pakistani government is the mediator. They fought for the peace deal. This isn't over yet. It's not over yet, guys. They're still talking. You're seeing this strong signs. We have a President 15-point action list. It's not over yet. Not yet. They're waffling on. Peace this, peace that. What is it about politicians and unable to get to the point? Just get to the point. It was a nothing. It was nothing. It was all just waffle. A few little buzzwords here and there. It was nothing. Ultimately, it's just. All right. They all just like to hear them. Honestly, they're just sucking each other's dicks right now. It's just like, yeah, yeah, yeah. There's no like, it's all just dick riding, but there's no, give me the information. Do you know what I mean? This is about legacy, about the history books. All right, great. But, what's the plan? That's what every trader in the world right now wants to know. What is the plan? It's more. It's waffle, man. It's all just waffle. Look how the market's reacting. It doesn't know what the hell it wants to do. It's just kind of stalled while everyone is waiting to hit buy or sell depending on anything. And it's loads of algorithms at play right now. But they're still talking. I don't think they're going to announce anything major. I think that's pretty much it. So, but it's not even about them announcing it. It's about them accidentally sometimes slipping up. Do you know what I mean? If they say something like, did you see when Trump mentioned in months, just because he said months, not weeks, right? It caused the market to move because it was a bit of a slip up. It's basically saying, well, yeah, okay, the war's going to last longer than expected. Move the market. So it's just, it takes, like a few little slip ups and that can boom, make the market move. But I don't think they're officially going to announce anything. Now they're just talking about the media, blah, 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 blah. You sure like the sound of her own voice. Come on. The thing is, they already know if they want to put mobilized troops onto the ground. They already know if that's going to happen. Just not willing to talk about it just yet. That is the big question everyone in the world wants to know. Are they going to put soldiers on the ground? Yes or no? They haven't confirmed it. They haven't denied it. Just not even talking about it. You know? I'm still going to hold until I kind of feel like they might slip up a little bit. So why not? Because whether it goes up a little bit more and I get out, I don't care whether it's $100 or you know what I mean. I'd rather it drift up a bit and I get out like here than miss out potentially on it. Boom, falling back down, another nice leg down or something. Do you know what I mean? And making a lot more. So. Just talking. I think the decision is going to be taken during the weekend. It could very well, yeah. Could very well. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. It's talking about the actual military operation. Because he mentioned sending Apache helicopters, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they actually, I don't know if that's new. I don't think Apache helicopters were in Iran, apparently. Maybe I missed that. They have been there for a bit. Okay, fair enough. Now he's talking about the US troops, but just thanking them. Yeah, usually this is what happens. They bump the shit out of somebody during the weekend, and then you wake up on Monday with a big gap. Absolutely. All right, Trump's speaking again. Oh, he's talking about freaking crime again. Just like no one cares about drug dealers, man. Like, oh, this is dragging on. This is really dragging on now. I look at this. It's just so sideways. Uh, I still think overall, once this is over, I think overall it's going to be more of a sell-off than it going up. So this is like the longest I've ever held a trade, man. This is like becoming a swing trade at this point. He's talking about New Orleans now. I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about. U.S. Secretary, the Pentagon will keep negotiating with bombs. Okay. What does that even mean? We'll keep negotiating with bombs? So what? Just keep. They are going to keep dropping bombs. Is that what? Operation Epic Fury isn't an endless war. How the fuck can you jump around the bush like that and do topic hopping? Swing trade from Thursday morning till Thursday afternoon. I couldn't hold it for that long, man. That's just not in my nature to swing trade like that. I would die. I'm gonna turn this volume down a bit. But how much is the profit and loss per tick for SPX that you're trading? Honestly, I actually don't know. You can probably see it. I think it's like $1 a tick or something. Okay, you've got a bit of a sell-off happening. You haven't said anything. Yeah, nothing's been said, so this might just be normal kind of. All right, maybe we can drop down a bit. My live feed is like 20 seconds behind Sammy's commentary. Yeah, and I think my feed is actually behind the market because I will see the market react, and then maybe like 10 seconds later, I'll hear why the reaction occurred. He's talking about border control now and stuff, but all right. I think we might still drop down a bit. But it looks of it, like, we're starting to make a bit of progress again. Maybe we go back down to these lows, potentially take him out. And then I'll start looking at probably exiting. But I'm going to start trading as if I am in normal kind of, market conditions now. I'm not expecting much from from Trump right now. I think it's pretty much everything that was meant to be said has been said, and that is that. So yeah, who knows? I don't know. So if I see, buyers come in, start getting effective, I'll get out. Usual kind of trading, but yeah, I genuinely thought he was going to announce maybe something about boots on the ground. Still might happen. If anything, I wouldn't be surprised if it would be more of a tweet rather than be somewhere where journalists are and they can ask questions. Be maybe a bit more just, announce it as like a tweet type thing. I can imagine he'll do. And it will cause a much bigger shock, I think, to the market. But yeah, I could keep holding this position, but I don't think anytime soon, like in the next, hour or so, I don't think nothing's really going to happen. So back to normal trading. I'm going to kind of, I don't really want to release these buyers. I want to keep it below them. I want to see these buyers fail. I want to see these numbers drop in real time. We're at 180, good. 140, see a bit of sell pressure coming in. Let's get below the low, get some selling coming in. Buyers are trying to reload. Let's squeeze them out, back down again. Usual kind of, trading. And if it doesn't work out, I'll just get out at the position. 120. There we go. A bit of sell pressure. Nothing major though. Volume's very low. Wait, Eamon, trade with macros. How are you? Oh, what just happened there? Moment I looked away. Good to see you, Eamon. As planned, shorts 24 240. Yes, you did say. Well done, man. Well done. I hope you managed to catch it. Oh, Trump always has something else to say to keep the attention on him. He likes to take a piss when the markets are closed during the weekends. Sammy, how come you on a trade like this you don't move stop loss to break even at least? I've seen you doing a lot. Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's not because I shouldn't or I'm against it. I just genuinely I forget to do it. So I'm much more kind of like I'll hold and my finger over the exit and anything I don't like. Like I don't like how buyers are kind of making a bit of room here. So and how sellers are at the bottom and that kind of distribution is looking bullish. So I'm just going to get out now. Call it a day. But Trump, you disappointed me. I thought you were going to come out with some big news. But you just waffled on about absolute nothingness. And for a moment, it sounded like he was about to say boots on the ground. And then he spoke about farmers and the market corrected itself. So we were a split second away from potentially a massive sell-off. What a crazy day. I can still hear him in my ear. I don't think much is going to be said right now. I think we're just going to see very kind of shitty movement as nothing really happens. I think that's pretty much it. And then maybe tomorrow, maybe over the weekend, who knows, we'll get more information. I think everyone was anticipating a lot from this meeting, but it was a bit, didn't really answer a lot of questions there that most people have in mind right now. Because he didn't touch up on the subject about potentially putting, military, potentially putting boots on the ground. He didn't confirm it, didn't deny it, didn't really it didn't say anything about it, completely avoided the subject. Now, if you're avoiding the subject, logic will probably tell you that there's a good chance he is planning on doing it. Otherwise, he would just say no. Do you know what I mean? If it's definitely not an option on the table and it's just not going to happen, you'll say that, no, we have no interest in doing it. But so I think it's still going to happen. I just don't think right now. So yeah, the choppiest market I've seen so far. Whoever lasted so far, congrats. This is what risk management looks like. It gets you another day to play. Exactly, YouTube Londoner. Exactly. That's part of this game, right? You just need to survive. Every day, you just need to survive. And if you make money along the way, good. Guys, don't forget to drop a like on this live. There's a lot of valuable information being shared here. Thank you, Eamon. Thank you. Much appreciated. But guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I don't think much is going to happen now. It was a pretty fun session, though, especially, hearing it live and kind of, trading. I don't think we've done a fundamental type trading day on this stream. There's always been technicals, but first time doing a fundamental one, and that was quite cool. So awesome stuff, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. I'll see you all there. Maybe we'll get some big news and this market will sell off as expected, hopefully. But until then, guys, thank you all. I'll see you tomorrow. Ta-ta.